Welcome back to another episode of Red Hawk Media. We've been working in Times Square, and a couple questions came up that I think are valid questions to address here. Our first goal was to take pictures like not unlike this coffee cup here, drop them onto the digital signage, move them into the background so that it's convincing that they're there. So like on the Disney Cruise Line one here in the previous episode, we'd put a red letter X there, and then we worked on bringing Disney to the foreground so that it's on its own layer, or we erased in front of it to make it appear like it's in the foreground. And that's what we've been working on. And eventually the question came up, how do we get the smoke to come back in here? So that's what we're focusing on today. A few little tricks here to create a kind of a fog smoke look. Just quick, I have to give credit to Blue Lightning Group here. That's where this picture actually came from. It was from their tutorial. I want to make sure that I'm giving credit where credit is due here. So let's take a look here at what we've got going on. Alright, so I've got my initial picture here, which is the coffee cup. And this is how it all began. I'm going to go ahead and take my layers that I had previously put in here, and I'm going to just trash them, get them out of here. And yes. Alright, so you can see the problem here. It sticks out like a sore thumb. It's not behind the smoke where there was previously smoke there. So let's go ahead and create a new layer. Our new layer will be above our coffee cup layer. So wherever that is in your layer palette here, create the layer, the new layer, so it's above this particular poster that you're working with in Times Square. So let's take a look. We are going to get the brush tool, and then we are going to make sure that we have white for a foreground color. Okay, and we're going to get a nice feathered brush, and then a pretty good brush size here so that it covers most of this. Right, and then what I'm going to do is just quickly brush over that. Just covering once over. Don't make loads of extra layers or anything like that. Now we're going to take the brush size and shrink it down a little bit, and then we're just going to make one quick pass over this way and that way, and that's going to create some depth that's in there. So let's see what we've got going on now. From here we want to actually take this and apply some filters to it so that it doesn't look so much like we just painted over the top of this. We're going to go to Filter, and we're going to go to Other, and Maximum. Alright, once we've got that filter here, we're going to adjust our pixels until we see what we're looking for here. And what it'll do is it'll bring out some of the ridges and like edges, but allow us to see through it as well here, and it'll give it a little bit more of that vapory kind of look. And we click OK. Alright. And OK, and OK. We're just waiting here. Okay, so you can see that we've got the high pass, or we've got the maximum filter applied here, and it eliminated a little bit of the smoke out of there. That's okay, because we're going to take this and we're going to give it a Command J to duplicate the layer. So we just created another smoke layer that's above there, and you can see some of it comes back in. It's filled in a little bit more. Let's go Command T at this point, just free transform this. We're just going to bring it over at this point so it's covering up a little bit more here, and we're going to warp this part so that we've got a little bit of variety going on so it doesn't look like we're matching two different layers up here. Let's go ahead and bring this in here so that's kind of covering up our area. Alright, and the big focus is, of course, over the coffee. Boom. Alright, so we've got that. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead on that top layer that we just created, and we're going to apply another filter. We're going to go to Blur, and then we're going to go to Surface Blur here. And we're going to choose an amount of surface blur that's going to be appropriate. So in the original tutorial, we were talking about a radius of 10. This is a bigger picture. I'm going to bring up the threshold a little bit more. Okay, and we're going to click OK. Okay, we're going to create one more layer here to really sell the effect all the way through. So we're going to go ahead and hit Command J. Let's go back to the original. So we got the original layer that we created the smoke on. Go Command J to duplicate the layer. Let's drag that one to the top, and this is going to be like a thinner mist of smoke that's going to be sitting over the top of all this. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a command click in the box here on that particular layer. Now what it did is it selected pixels. We're not seeing the pixels that it selected, but it selected them here so that it doesn't apply this effect to the entire thing. Now, after doing the command click, I'm going to go up to Filter, and I'm going to go to Render, and I'm going to go to Clouds. And then it brings in that cloud effect there. Let's go ahead and grab our Move tool and position that exactly where we kind of want. We can do a Command T, make that a little bit bigger so it kind of blends in a little bit more. You can see there's kind of a hard line on the one that's below that. Let's take that off. Hit Enter to accept our changes. And we're taking that off. And let's make that cloud layer just a little bit bigger now so that it's covering more of the coffee cup. Yeah. Nice. Okay, and pretty decent. So now we have effectively put in some clouds back in there, and you can see there's little splotchy parts that are see-through here, and it's looking a whole lot more believable that that picture is actually in the background now. It's a quick remedy for some steam slash vapor slash smoke. If I wanted to get really technical about this, I could do a color correction on it too so that it matches a little bit more of the color of that smoke. So if I want to, I can go ahead and add that correction on above all these. And I can go to a hue and saturation. And I can say, let's attach it only to this layer. And let's bring that over so that it is a little bit more purpley in color. And there we are. And bring that hue over now that we're colorizing there. Excellent. So we've got a little bit more of that color in there to make it match more of that so it's not so white and kind of fakey. Alright, so that's a quick way that we can go ahead and add a layer of smoke on there. You'll have to tinker around with it a little bit because obviously your canvas size will be different, the settings will be slightly off, but the basic principle is there of creating the different layers and textures using the cloud rendering tool, the maximum filter, and then the surface blur. And those are kind of our three main things that we're really using here to create this effect. This has been another episode of Red Hawk Media. Thanks for joining us. Bye.